Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday, a cold Saturday here in Houston. Got close to freezing. I don't know whether it actually did this morning.
It was 34.
We had a cold front come through here yesterday.
Oh, and it blew through.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, yeah. Knocked down stuff on my back patio out there and took the car cover off the Corvette. I mean, it was ugly. But at any rate, we're over that. Clear sunshine. It's going to be a beautiful day. Great day to get out and hot rod the car. You know,
Sure.
get out on the nice dry streets.
Stretch his legs a little bit.
There you go. Why not?
There you
Some
go.
smoky burnouts.
It's
Windy enough. The smoke will go elsewhere.
You know, I don't have that kind of money to blow out my tires, so I'm good.
Or the gas.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
You go down to the corner and buy those used tires that you can get for $10 a piece, and you put those on there, and then you blow them out.
Yeah, Maypops.
Yes,
May pop.
they blow out a
pop
lot
anytime.
quicker.
Yeah, they blow out quicker. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Is have the cars blown out tires flapping against that expensive bodywork. That's good. Take out a fender. Why not?
Well, you needed to open up those.
What? What are you doing over
he's
there?
adjusting his earring.
I'm trying to get to where I can hear, and
His earring fell off.
Sue Mead, are you there?
I am.
Hi,
Can you-
Sue.
And let me put myself back to your screen. Can you see me?
Yes.
We can.
Okay.
How are you, Sue? Where are you?
Well, I'm still stateside with you guys, and I don't want to hear that it's cold there because we're getting a bombogenesis. Is that what we call it these days, or boom storm?
Oh, the bomb
Snow.
cyclone. Yeah.
Yeah, snow is coming down. I know it started with you. I know you guys aren't used to it. People are here in New England, but I will tell you, I spent 3.5 weeks in Saudi Arabia, leaving December 26th, and I came back January 21st. It was hard to come back to frigid New England. So it's cold in the desert of Saudi Arabia at night, and I'm heading out. I'll be experiencing that again, but it's nice and warm in the daytime. But I'm here, and I'm heading out on Monday morning to go back to Saudi Arabia. It was a little unexpected, but I heard about this all-women's rally. I threw my hat into the ring to be a PR person for the 7 women from the U.S., as well as for the media company that is overseeing the rally, Performance Media. And so there you have it.
Well, how did you find out about this? I mean, is this something that's been going on for a while, or is this like the first one?
Well, thank you for asking. I found out about it because I'm such an off-road buff, and I really enjoy supporting women and rallying. But I sent a note to Performance Media in Dubai. They're based in Dubai in the UK. And I asked what was going on with the rally. And at that point, registrations were closed. I learned that there were 2-person women's teams from the U.S. And I did a little further research, and we made an agreement that I would work with them to help get U.S. media educated about folks like you guys and your listeners. So just a really quick backstory. As you might remember, women only started driving in Saudi Arabia in 2017.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
So, and there's been, say what you will, it's so exciting that they are. When I was there last year, I had 3 women take me to a computer store when I was having an issue with something. And I really loved being with them and having them drive me, sort of going against what some people might think. And I made a number of female friends there when I was traveling last year, but it wasn't until this year's Dakar, which started January 2nd, that I met women who were actually participating in off-road racing. And there was a woman that was on the rally, Dania, who was in a side-by-side, and she had a female partner. And so there were 3 women racing in this year's Dakar, which you guys know is almost 6,000 miles long and really tough. So Saudi Arabia and a company called Jameel Motors, Abdul Latif Jameel Motors is the formal name of the company, with the help of FIA Women in Motorsports and Her Royal Highness Princess Rinal bint Bandar Al Saud. When I meet her Royal Highness, I'll learn how to say that better.
You'll practice it, right?
We pronounce ours Darren Armstrong.
That's right.
There you go. Well, what's really exciting is to see the support behind this inaugural rally. It begins next Thursday in a city called Hail, Hail. Mike, I don't remember where we spoke when I believe I spoke with you when we were in Riyadh, perhaps on our rest day.
Yes.
And so this begins north of Jeddah, which is on the Red Sea. It's about 8-hour drive north in a city called Hail. And we have been there. Amy Lerner is going with me. She raced from Jeddah to Hail, and I did the drive and then drove to Riyadh. This race competition rather, starts in Hail with a prologue on Wednesday to seed women according to their sort of test run on Wednesday. And as is the case for any competition of this sort, there are regulations for the vehicles. There's all kinds of scrutineering and checkout to make sure that everything is up to par, that the women have the right equipment for their suits and helmets and whatever they need. And it's a fascinating list of women from around the world. As I said, there are 3 U.S. teams. I can name them in a bit, but and a 7th woman named Eleanor Coker, who I've never heard of. She is hailing with a U.S. flag and driving with a teammate from Spain. So my sense is that she's probably from Europe. I've just jumped on board and a lot of information has just come out. But so Wednesday next week will be 16th, will be a scrutineering day, a day of going over the regulations. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the participants will have 3 days of competition for a total of 1,000 kilometers in the backcountry. And they will be driving all-wheel drive vehicles and four-wheel drive vehicles.
What will you be driving?
So what kind of vehicles?
It's a fascinating list. There are Toyota, they're all SUVs and trucks. Okay. And there's a couple of trucks, guys. There's a Dodge Ram and a Ford Raptor, which really excites me.
But these are factory vehicles, right? These are not.
That's correct.
These are not prepped.
That's correct.
Sue, you mentioned the 7 women from the U.S. Are they all from New England, or are they just from different parts of the country?
No, they're all from more the western part of our country. I know you know Emmy Hall from Roadshow.
Yep.
Emmy and her driving partner, who have done, I believe they've done 6 or 7 of the Rebel rallies. Rebecca Donaghy and Emmy, they drove a Rivian the last 2 years. They drove a Rolls Royce. I don't know if you remember that.
Must
3
be
years
rough.
ago. So,
but they're all from across the U.S. They're not necessarily from one part of the country. They're from all over.
Yes, they're all from the West. And 2 women are from San Diego, a mother and daughter team, and they're in the automotive business and the dealership end of it. And they do a lot of goodwill work there in San Diego. And then Lynn Woodward, who a couple of you might know from the automotive field, who's with KBB, is going with her driving partner, Susanna Blinson, who also is from the West. And Susanna has done the Rebel Rally, I believe, 7 times.
Wow.
So
What did you say that you were driving?
Well, that's a really good question. I know that for any woman who did not show up with a vehicle, say, for instance, getting one voted from the U.S., which is not the case, we will all be in vehicles that are Toyota vehicles from Jameel Motors. And when I get in on Tuesday night, along with Amy Lerner, who's from New Jersey, and John Reddy, who you guys might know, a really world-class photographer who's done adventures all over the world. He hails from Santa Barbara. They're my team. I've organized that John will be doing photos, Amy will be doing video, and I will be doing social media posts and media coverage, and working with performance communications to give more publicity to this first rally. But what I'm seeing on the roster is that there are a wide variety of Toyota, Lexus, Land Cruiser, Jeep Wrangler, Jeep Cherokee vehicles that women have signed up with. I had some last minute information this week with the names of participants, and I'm seeing that they're from Spain, other locations in Europe, and Australia. So I'm very excited to meet this collection of women. So 33 teams, 2 women on each team. That's 66 women, 7 flying under the U.S. flag, if you will. And I'm looking, we have Toyota Prado, Lexus GX 460.
Nice.
Sue, let me interrupt and ask you, is this a speed event or is this a timed event, or both?
Time to distance?
Yes, thanks for asking. It is not a speed event. It is very similar to the Rebel Rally and another international women's rally called the Gazelle Rally in Morocco, which I've actually done. It is a matter, the competition rewards teams that are doing precision driving from waypoint to waypoint to find flags and GPS locations that are out in the field, so to speak. And
but that is
regulated. Go ahead.
But that is without the electronic GPSs. This is all, at least what I understood about Rebel Rally, is that is all compass and calculation.
That's exactly right. It's a map and compass rally without GPS, take you there, take you home, back to the hotel at night. So it's the rally rewards is women learning how to use map and compass, but also how to not only drive. It's not tough terrain, but there's a lot of sand in the desert, and it's very easy, even if you're on a graded dirt road, which I was when I was following the rally in January. It's very easy to slip off the road and get into sand, and now you're stuck. So you have to have skills for driving and also for getting unstuck.
Okay. And one of the other things I would assume is somebody driving by you and seeing that you're having problems are probably going to stop and help. They're not going to just drive by and say, "Oh, I'm in the lead now."
Yes, that's correct. And especially if someone's in the track and you can't get by them. But in rallies like this, one of the things I really appreciate is the only people that can help are other participants on the rally. So if I'm out there and I see my good friend Emmy Hall go by and she's stuck, I cannot help her. in any way, if there was an emergency, I can communicate that. And there will also be helicopters flying over the rally for safety and security, as well in the event that there's an injury or a need, as well as helicopters that will be flying to provide footage. So as we go forward, I'd love to get some footage to you guys. If you would like to have couple of the women that are participating on your show, when they come back to the U.S., I'd love to line that up. But we'll have some good action photos from the field.
How cool is that? And this is all going to be within the UAE or within Saudi?
It's all going to be within Saudi, and the route will go from Hail to Riyadh, Mike, where we spoke. And it will end in the capital city of Riyadh, and which is a beautiful, it's funny, it's a beautiful modern day city with skyscrapers and really impressive universities, and yet a very short distance out of town are camel herders and Bedouin tents right along the road.
Along with Don Armstrong.
Yeah.
You up at the third Bedouin tent next to the camel run.
Yeah, he'd be riding the camel.
Oh, yeah. The camel will be riding me either way. Well, Sue, it's great to talk to you. Great to see you. As always, I haven't seen you in person in a number of years, but you look great, and best of luck to you over in Saudi Arabia, and good luck on your trip over there next week.
Have fun.
Thanks so much, guys, and I'll be back in touch when we get back.
We look forward to it. Thanks again. Sue Mead with the Rally Jameel.
How cool is that?
Yeah, I know. What's amazing to me is that she always gets picked for these things. And she's very involved in it, and she's very, very good at what she does.
And she's very connected. And as they're trying to grow this event, bringing her in and her connections worldwide with the rally sport.
And the 7 women across the country, too. Right. That's admirable. I'm just wondering, if it was a guy event, we just go and get lost. They probably stop and ask directions.
No, that's why I asked that. Smart aleck. That's why I asked that. This is all about compass and map and calculation. Yeah.
What's
something I couldn't do. There's no way I could do that.
Couldn't fold a map.
Yeah, we're so used to using GPS on our phone. I couldn't refold the map.
Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now on our show for Konrad's Car Clinic, and I know that you always have something good for us.
Yeah. So wanted to talk a little bit about electrification. I know it's one of your favorite stories. And this
but it's Joe Biden's favorite stories. How's that working out for you now at the gas pump?
Electric school buses.
And this wasn't written by me. This was sent to me by a friend. You're going
to have to read this?
Not fully read it, but pieces of it. As an engineer, I'm pretty excited about electric vehicles in general, except a little bit troubled about the electric energy delivery systems. That's you.
That's not me. It's
You're
the
gonna
dog.
Blame the dog. Yeah, sure. Trying to keep the batteries charged on the grid means that power generation needs a huge increase in its ability to deliver electricity through the infrastructure. Tesla requires 75 amps on their supercharged home station, 75 amps to charge the vehicle. Most houses are built on a 100 amp system, maybe a 120 amp system. So that's going to mean it's going to require a lot of power. And when you look at, let's talk about your neighborhood, Don. Your grid here was probably built back in the 20s, the electrical grid here.
Yeah, at best.
And
the house is 1912.
So could this grid within the big grid deliver the amount of power necessary for 2 or 3 Teslas on the street?
No.
Well, that's going to be the case in a lot of subdivisions. Is the power grid isn't going to be able to deliver the energy necessary to charge more than a couple of 3 cars.
So theoretically, you could actually plug in. Yeah, you could plug in your electric vehicle and take the grid down, so your neighbor couldn't use a microwave or
absolutely.
Oh, you've got your microphone back on.
because it'd be like at my mother's house. If you turn on too many appliances, the breakers trip.
Yeah. Well, then you could do that
but
for the
the house was built in the 50s, but it'll be the same thing.
But
It's
how
just
many areas are going to be like that? And you've got 6 or 7 people. They all buy their Teslas and start plugging in, and all of a sudden, the neighborhood gets browned out. That's a true possibility of what's ahead of us. When you look at the power necessary, the amperage necessary to charge a car, now you also have to look at the kilowatt hours necessary to charge the car.
Yeah, I don't know why people believe somehow, magically, that it's not going to make their power bill go up. Well, guess what? It is.
Well, it is, because the general, I'm going to broad range this, and I'm not quite right, but the general broad range of EVs that are out there all have 100 kilowatt batteries. Now, yes, it does go from the 40s and it does go up to 200, but when you look at the range of them, it's like 80 to 120 is the general battery. So when you have that, now you have to put in that much kilowatts to restore the battery charge in the vehicle, and over time, that becomes an awful lot of energy. I pay about 19 cents per kilowatt hour at my house when you add it and all the fees and stuff up. So that's $19, $20 a day to charge the battery of my vehicle. Hey, do I burn $97 worth of gasoline yesterday?
Do today.
I put $97 worth of gasoline in a 2012 Chevy Tahoe yesterday. It blew my mind, but you still have to pay for that electricity on a regular interval. I don't fill my vehicle up every day, but electrically you would be filling it up every day. So, that's going to come up to, $500, $600 a month in increased electric bill just because I have an EV.
And you can't top it off right away because it's a slow trickle after a certain point.
Correct. After it gets past 80%,
then it's a slow trickle.
So can the infrastructure withstand electrification? I don't think so.
I vote no.
By the time that it gets to where that's going to be a real concern,
Joe Biden's going to fix
today.
it.
Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah,
I think
that
that's
guy.
how you say it. He said it's just time to buy an EV.
right?
Well,
a $60,000 EV.
Well, find one for $60,000.
Can we do Can we move on from this?
Please.
Why?
Well, but my point was today's
What is the
infrastructure.
What is the point?
Exactly.
Today's infrastructure couldn't handle electrification.
But Joe's going to fix it, right?
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go. Time now for some of the stories making automotive news headlines this week here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Toyota Motor Company has told suppliers it will cut production in Japan by up to 20% from a previous plan for the 3 months from April to ease the strain on suppliers struggling with shortages of chips and other parts. The automaker is planning to scale back domestic production by about 20% in April, 10% in May, and 5% in June from its previous plan. According to the spokesperson, Toyota is planning to produce a record 11 million cars in fiscal 22 as long as it can ensure a stable supply of chips.
But that is a reduction in Japanese domestic production, not necessarily U.S. production.
U.S. regulators on Thursday issued final rules eliminating the need for automated vehicle manufacturers to equip fully autonomous vehicles with manual driving controls to meet crash standards. Are you following this?
Mm-hmm. How?
Yeah.
Open the pod bay doors. Automakers and tech companies have faced significant hurdles to deploying automated driving system vehicles without human controls because of safety standards written decades ago that assume people are in control.
And they have no idea how to drive half of them anyhow.
Where'd my car go? Oh, it went to the store.
NHTSA
Where's my
said
car,
existing
dude?
regulations do not currently bar deploying automated vehicles as long as they have manual driving controls. And as it continues to consider changing other safety standards, manufacturers may still need to petition NHTSA for an exemption to sell their ADS-equipped vehicles, automated driving systems.
ADD.
National
ADD, yeah.
National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said it denied a General Motors request that would have allowed the automaker to avoid fixing headlight glare problems on about 725,000 U.S. sport utility vehicles. NHTSA said in certain weather conditions, such as snow and fog, the headlight issue could cause glare to other motorists driving in proximity. They're going to be all recalled.
But that's that white light that you see as opposed
Almost to blue.
Yeah. So the manufacturer has to fix it, but when you buy them for your Corvette out there, your headlights are doing that same glare, but nobody's going to recall them because they're afraid of you, Don.
Right.
Is that the headlight?
It's a taillight.
Okay.
Taillight. It's the old taillight.
So did you put LEDs in the taillights too?
Yep. The whole thing. On everything.
You are such a millennial.
I am.
He's woke.
Remind me before you leave to show you the new headlight.
Yeah, I want to see the headlights
awesome.
for sure. Yeah.
It's Rivian's turn in the penalty box after sharply raising prices for its R1T pickup and R1S SUV in response to soaring supply chain costs. Rivian, the Amazon-backed electric vehicle startup based in Southern California, joins dealerships, legacy automakers, and even Tesla as the object of consumer wrath over the steady rise of vehicle prices. While some auto dealers are adding on $10,000 market adjustments, as they call it, to popular vehicles, Rivian is hiking prices by 17 to 20%, which can add $12,000 or more to the brand's original pricing for its launch vehicles.
Which was
Before the price hikes, the quad-motor R1T with the large battery pack and 314 miles of estimated range started at $67,500 before shipping. Now that's up 18% to $79,500. The R1S has a similar price increase in response to the wave of bad publicity. CEO brilliant man R.J. Scaringe, I guess that's the way you pronounce
Tell
his
us
name.
how you really feel.
Yeah, Scalamonga or whatever. Partially backtracked 2 days after announcing the hike, saying the automaker would respect the original prices for customers who ordered before March 1st. Please don't dump us.
There you go, Brandon.
Rivian delivered 920 vehicles last year after starting production in September. They're in all sorts of trouble.
And then they're going to raise destination charge.
Yeah. Because you're getting that 300.
On top of that, did you hear that one of the first GMC Hummer EV1s was put up for auction at $310,000? The first guy who bought one advertised it as for $310,000 on an auction site. Buy it now.
But it wasn't Hendrick
and
that
he
bought
paid
it.
$110,000. No, it wasn't Hendrick. The GMC truck came at the guy and said, what are you doing? Because they came at the dealer trying to ask what it is, and this thing has virtually no miles on it, and he's trying to triple his investment.
I'm surprised that he doesn't get, his house egged in the middle of the night a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Time for a quick break now. You're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Stay with us more after this quick break. Uh-oh, that's the wrong one.
Saturday, March 19th, 2022 is the premiere of the all-new Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos kicks off a new seasonal format, and first up is the Spring Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m., Saturday, March 19th. Tailpipes and Tacos will award trophies for the best hot rod, best classic, and best modern classic, so make plans now. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise in, and this is where you'll enjoy seeing the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, along with Lupi Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and all cars will automatically compete for custom Lupi trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Get your ride ready for the all-new Spring Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, March 19th. It's going to be a huge car show, and spectators are welcome. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there, too. Let's celebrate the arrival of spring and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, March 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Lupi Tortilla in Katy. We'll see you then, weather permitting. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Konrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/InWheelTimeCarTalk. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.